really, no matter how many stats you keep or how much practice you get, it's impossible to escape uncertainty. And sometimes it seems like whatever we do, it's always this uncertainty or this ambiguity or variance which has the last say on whether or not we make money, basically. And we can never say for sure the market will or will not do something, but for most traders, and I think traders are usually the type of people who, for some reason, value knowledge and the sense of order and control which knowledge brings them. That certainly describes me. So for most traders, that kind of person, uncertainty is very difficult to come to terms with. So most traders can tell you what the market kind of should do, or why it did X or Y after the fact, but they find it very difficult to adapt to the market in real time. So they can't admit to being wrong when the market does something unexpected, because basically being wrong poses a threat to their sense of control. So for some reason, they're unable to come to terms with the fact that they're essentially playing a game of probabilities, and that those probabilities are constantly shifting. This used to be me. I used to be this guy. Used to have all this shit on my charts, but basically because I couldn't bear the possibility of being wrong. I was continually trying to maintain an illusory sense of control in circumstances where control just wasn't possible. Because the fact is, we can never control or know the outcome of a trade. So for me, everything had to have an explanation. I required a causal relationship between what I knew and what the market was doing. And part of that drive led me to the understanding I've got now, but part of it was also kind of delusional. So, this stuff really is about a mix of really mastering the technical knowledge and the setups derived from that knowledge, and also accepting fully accepting the limitations of knowledge and data. And the danger here is that you develop the illusion of control, and that illusion of control is a belief which makes you risk more than you should, and which will make you insensitive to feedback, so unable to learn or adapt, basically. And it's that illusion of control which will make you less effective at analyzing the markets, less capable of effective risk management. But I think perhaps even worse than not being able to analyze the markets or manage your risk is that seeking out or relying on that sense of control. For a trader who focuses on what you'd call primary control strategies, by which I mean trying to control the external environment, for those traders, the slow realization that you have no control over whether or not you succeed can be totally crushing. And that realization will lead to chronic stress and a rise in cortisol levels, which make failure even more likely. Back to that kind of negative cycle I was talking about earlier. So it's incredibly important that you maintain a sense of control, a feeling that the effort and work you put in have some meaningful impact on the outcome. But of course, the market does whatever the fuck it wants. So from where do you derive this sense of control is the question. And the key, I think, is to assume what's called an internal locus of control. Okay. In other words, to focus on what's called secondary control strategies. So strategies in which you can exert control over yourself, in which you adapt to the external environment rather than trying to control that environment. Does that make sense? So, variance is real, and we really can't do much about it, but we can control our actions to a certain extent. We can control how we think about and interact with the market. So it's really very important to shift your attention away from the goal or outcome of your trades, the reward, okay, and focus on refining your process, refining the aspects of trading which you can control. And in this respect, routine is a lot more important than you might think it is, and will go a long way in giving you some sense of control or agency.